Good day, gentlemen. We are through 10 weeks of the NFL season. Crazy, crazy times. And we are 10 weeks into power rankings now as well. And still working with the new platform here, so still figuring some things out. But today we are going to do another comparisons ranking. And previously, a couple weeks ago, we did comparisons to the NFL, but it was very well timed that Pierce sent the video in the group chat that he did, because today we are comparing to NCAA teams. That's right. For those of you who don't currently watch NCAA football, it's amazing and gut-wrenching, as Pierce's video alluded to. But the chaos abounds, and between rivalries and different things like that, it is an absolute blast. It'll also help you in future drafts if you get on board to that. Give you a sense of who the rookies coming up are, and anyway, just a good time. So right into it, the 17-minute video. Hopefully those are a thing of the past, based on the analytics, which I can now see using YouTube. Most people did not watch the full video, which fair enough. So we're going to try and keep it a little bit tighter, but still have a little bit of fun with our comparisons. So, Johnny boy. John, you are getting very used to being the bottom or the first talked about. Maybe that makes you feel special. Maybe that's what this is. You just want to be talked about first. Anyway, you, my friend, are Boston College. And Boston College has lost every single one of their conference games this year, in case that comparison needed to be said. Every once in a while, they give a team just a little bit of a scare. But for the most part, they just can't score enough to really do anything. Scare is one thing, but to actually win, yet to be seen. Moving on, we are going to chat about Rory. And Rory is the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They beat a nobody in week 1, in Rory's case, John, and then have rattled off just a whole bunch of losses since then. They're a bit of a mess at the moment, and so is Rory's team, Goffenheimer. It's tough scenes all around, but at least Rory still knows how to tie a tie, so he's got that going for him. Chris, you are the Clemson Tigers. You had massive preseason hopes, as has been alluded to before. This season has absolutely come off the rails. However, a win against Ryan this last week was maybe going to give a little bit of hope. But let's be honest, and let's not actually act like Ryan is a true top-tier contender here this year. But more on Ryan later. My Gators. Pierce, this is you. You've had some really close losses this year until this week. You got absolutely blown out in a rivalry game. It's not a good look. You can't seem to string enough momentum together for any sort of big push. And I imagine you'll just kind of relish in playing spoiler for the rest of the year if you're able to pull that off. But no big expectations for the rest of the year and on to next year. Staying in the state of Florida. Ryan, this actually worked out really well because Florida State literally lost to Clemson, who I attributed to Chris this year. And you're Florida State, buddy. You started the beginning of the year absolutely firing, but you've had some very uninspired wins and uninspired losses during the season. including, as I mentioned, the loss to Chris, aka Clemson, this week. It puts you in a real tough spot moving forward. Yeah, sorry, buddy, but that's just where you are right now. Ryan and the four names before him are all currently unranked in the CFP, college football playoff, for those of you who are unaware. Unranked meaning you're out of the top 25, but there's also then some kind of honorable mentions that get added in, and none of these first five teams have been on that list either. Moving us into our first ranked team of the year, and that is Dave. Dave is the Tennessee Volunteers. You are above 500. You seem to beat the teams you should beat, but in the same vein, that means you always seem to lose to the ranked teams on the schedule, the other good teams. Maybe you can hang your hat on one or two, but if you just keep losing to the teams that are better than you, well, then they're just all better than you. And it leaves you on the outside looking in, potentially right on the cusp on that bubble. Still ranked, number 23 in Tennessee's case. But for you, you are just beating the teams you should. Just losing to the teams that I guess seems like you should too. Anyway, moving on from Dave, moving a couple spots in the CFP ranking is Colin, who are the Iowa Hawkeyes. You're not setting the world on fire offensively at all. Your defense continues to get you some wins this year. But if you can gain some momentum down the stretch, you're a scary team to play on any given week. You and Iowa seem to be that team that people kind of play to their level, and you can squeeze out some close ones. And hey, come playoff time, that might be exactly what it takes. Moving up a bunch of spots, and that goes to Leighton and BYU. A very tough loss this week, as has been mentioned, in a very pivotal game. It might really end up coming down. Looking back at that one, maybe is a bit of a TSN turning point. You also might get to see the same team down the road in the playoffs. BYU might as well. Things had been looking pretty favorable for Leighton. At one point, he was up in second place. But if this week was an indication of his team's ceiling, or BYU's ceiling, the ceiling just might not be high enough. Just might not be high enough for what he's hoping to do here in the league. But only time will tell. Speaking of the person who beat Leighton, Nathan. Nathan, you are Oklahoma. You have had some very tough losses to some teams in the hunt, but you've also picked up some big wins. You have a tough schedule to end the year, and we are going to see if you are the real deal in the same way we're going to see if Oklahoma is the real deal. This leads us to number 3 and number 7 in the CFP rankings. Our commissioner, Matty Buckets, and the Ole Miss Rebels. Absolute offensive juggernaut. Just slicing and dicing teams. But, as sometimes can be the case and has been for Matt and for Ole Miss, losing some real tight ones because the defense is just letting up too many points. Matt's points against is freakishly high, and it's costing him. Just playing the wrong teams on the wrong week, I guess. Nice to see him get back on track this week against an absolute bottom feeder in John. And Ole Miss did the same by scheduling the Citadel, which I literally cannot tell you what state it's in, but they beat them 49-0. Let's see if you can build off that momentum. I know it's slightly ironic that I'm wearing a Florida hat in my photo, but I was too lazy to change the photos I'd used last week, so here we are. But I am Texas Tech, and I am also a very high-scoring offense, top offense in the league, in our league, and I just took on a top-rated opponent, and I knocked him off. I did. The comparison didn't quite work out as well because Texas Tech beat BYU, who I've attributed to Leighton for the sake of this video. But I am absolutely counting the huge win I had against Ross, the absolute nail biter that I had against Ross, as a massive victory. Texas Tech's number 6 in the CFP right now, coming off that win, and they're riding high. And frankly, I am too. So hoping that doesn't come crashing down to earth for either one of us, really. But just got to keep that rolling and keep doing what I'm doing, which obviously inevitably does lead us to Ross. And Ross is, even now with one loss, he is Indiana. He has beat a couple good teams, but he is not really dominating the way that his record suggested, even up to and including this week. Going into the matchup against me, he was 9-0. And yeah, he just hadn't beat anyone. He beat like a couple points the first week against John. Like, no, he has been on the right side of this until this week. So the only slight difference between the comparison and real life, Indiana legitimately needed a touchdown in the last 36 seconds to win the game, and they got it. Ross needed Jordan Love to show up at the end of the game, or really at any point in the game, and he didn't. Otherwise, the comparison still holds, but Ross is Indiana, and that is the end of the Week 10 Power Rankings. From me, hope you guys enjoyed it, and all the best.